Okay guys, we're gonna stretch out our ankle tackle here. Need to get an idea on how much chain and line we have on there. Chain's looking a little rough. We'll just run this like back and forth.
Flake it. We'll get it like a. Maybe we can see if we can get a hold of chain or a hammer rod.
Oh. Yeah. Should we just stretch the line further? Yeah.
Don't matter.
Weirdo. How is that supposed to like tighten up and you put your whole drum out? Right?
You guys have some ways. Yeah, show that wheel.
Yeah.
Chain and line, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, well, there it is, a little crusty in here, back plate, so it'll take a chip and hammer to that and get all the rust and crust knocked off of it, and then clean it up. I don't know what we'll put on it, maybe some evaporust or something. You don't want to put OSFO on galvanized surfaces because it just eats up the zinc really fast, and while there's quite a bit of it gone, you'll end up with it all over this stuff and the rest of the drum here, and yeah, so we'll figure something out, maybe just some kind of rust primer or something. So yeah, a little cleanup on that. Looks like they just looped the line through here, so we'll have to pass that all back through, get it off there, get it out of the way. I don't know that we'll replace it. It's still in good shape, other than it's in pretty good shape. I don't know. We'll see. It's expensive.
It seemed like it was in good shape.
It's probably going to be like a grand to replace all this.
Yeah.
I don't know. What did I price was it 100 fathoms or 50 fathoms? It was like 600 bucks. It's $2 a foot.
Yeah, $2 a foot.
Ooh. That gets expensive. 600 bucks for 50 fathoms.
Yep.
Zoinks.
And that was for smaller than this, right? 3/4?
I think this is 3/4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll get a caliper and we'll check. But yeah. And that first shot of chain looks okay. The second shot looks a little shady.
From there on.
Yeah. It's just the second one, yeah?
Yeah.
I think this is 3/8 chain.
Nice. Well, get a measuring tape and see how much that is, I guess.
Yeah, so 20, so maybe 120 foot. Just gonna stretch this chain. I think we better dump that one shot.
Yeah, from there on.
Yeah.
Right
But
here.
this stuff here is good, huh?
Oh, that stuff's fine, yeah.
But this stuff here, it's
That's pretty,
there's
this
links
one
that
is
are
bad,
worn.
look at that. And look at this one. This main shackle.
Yeah, and I could see spots that were like
This
Like
is all
in
like
here.
pretty crusty too, look at that.
yeah, in here.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth it to lose it, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's expensive when you lose an anchor.
Yeah, so that back plate is getting kind of roached. Anyways, doesn't really do a whole lot, honestly. Fishtail used to have the exact same anchor, same setup. We widened the drum on it, and when we did, we just ended up deleting that back plate because it wasn't wide enough anymore. It's been fine without it. Got a lot of rust on the side of these drums. At least try and get this stuff knocked off. Might have to get a chipping hammer from home. Gonna get this all cleaned up here this afternoon, tomorrow, and get some paint on it while it's nice out. Kind of thinking we might end up doing the same thing with this drum, and that's just cutting out this core and widening it. And all you have to do is just replace these spacers down here and this top plate, and then you've got a wider anchor winch that can hold a lot more cable and line. Yeah. Alright guys, we just decided to cut these screws and take this back off. It's just all rotten anyways at the bottom, and it's just creating a river of rust down the boat, so it's time to just delete it.
Oh no. I see the problem.
What?
Look at the backside tee. Dad blew through it.
Oh,
Oh no.
yeah. it's done for. Let's see if we can maybe go frozen there too.
Really opens up that housing.
Yeah. Things first. There we go. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Time to go. Got a little bit of corrosion down in here on these sides too from this, so at least I can get back down in there now and get that cleaned up a little bit and get some paint on it. We'll try and extend the life on this. Anchor winches are not cheap. That's one of those things that you really don't want to have to buy unless you really have to buy it. And these old Thompson winches are really, really good. Just needs a little love. But this thing holds a lot of line, and I suppose the new one was probably 15 grand, I'm guessing.
With bigger comes bigger prices, so
Yeah.
surely is probably 15, 20.
I think if I was going to do anything, we'd just build a new one and just use the mechanical out of this one.
Yeah.
Because they have a good setup. There's a chain drive, so it's a mechanical advantage reduction, gear reduction on the side, and these things pull hard. So anyways, that'll make it a little bit easier to get in there and get things cleaned up now, and that's what it needs, is cleaned up.
What's going on?
Well, I'm fiddling around with these ballast boxes here. Let's see. Previously, we put some studs in the bottom. We tapped these, and then I just JB welded them in there. So hopefully they don't spin out. They seem like they're in there really well. It's kind of a, well, I guess I could have gone about this a couple of different ways, but just gluing some studs seemed like a good idea. It might have been nice to have like some double-ended ones, the ones that have kind of like a flat in the middle so you can snug it up, but I don't have any here in town, and I didn't feel like ordering them and waiting for them, so I just took some bolts and cut them off, and we threaded the hole and then glued them in. I guess the other thing that we could have done was to get like a socket cap screw like that and come down through the top and fix them that way. The problem is I just don't have like any T-wrenches that are this long. It's almost 7 inches right there. And so that was a problem. There's not enough room to get like a socket in there, so you couldn't use a hex head like this. So that seemed like a pretty good alternative to all that. And it should work well. And now I'm just, I'm retapping these holes inside here. So they have some holes in each corner to like affix a plate in here, which we have right here. And this is what our ballast will mount to, and the caps and starters. It's a little bit tricky here. I took a socket head screw and I just glued it in there because I didn't have like a proper square drive or anything, and so now I can just get on that with my ratchet and a 1/2 inch socket, and yeah, seems to work real good. So I'm just going to finish threading these all out, and then I should be good to go to mount this plate. But first I'll need to locate where all these ballasts go. So this will always kind of be like, well, I mean, it'll always be in a upright position. The stuff can't really go very far in here, but I do want to make sure that it is affixed good, because these ballasts are heavy. They're about 25 pounds each.
We're getting our jigging stuff in order. All the machines are pretty much gone through now. Down here on the floor, we've got a 8D battery there, and actually this tray that we fabricated probably 10 years ago for a generator pad, or
It's been a little while.
a thing for the fishtail. Yeah, it's just been over in the storage corner there, and it just so happens to perfectly fit 3 8D batteries. And so we're gonna plan. The plan currently is to mount it out on deck on the Emerald Isle, just because there's no real good place to put them inside right now. And that'll make the run for the wires for the jiggers a lot shorter too. So there is that benefit to it.
Well, these are they're like 18 amp.
Yeah, the 12 volts
12
or
volt
18.
Full load is 18 amp,
Mm-hmm.
and so your wire size can get up there really quick on a long run, and wire is expensive. It's very expensive, and so what we'll do is we'll position these over on deck out of the way for now, because we just don't have the time or money to put them inside, and the space. We still need to work things out like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll be fine out on deck. It's not ideal, but it's fine.
Yeah, we'll build a cover for the top of them, and we do plan on putting it by the freezer, so we'll have kind of a climb-up spot for getting on the house and deploying our
step, which is
our steady
nice.
poles. Now we're just clearing off the last bits of our crabbing gear. We hauled a load home earlier of buoys. Left a couple of crab pots on the boat. We'll throw them out, do some subsistence, and capture some personal use stuff. So that'll be nice. Get us some good eats. We didn't keep any for ourselves from this load just because we were pretty busy, and actually not even that. We didn't keep any from this last load just because they're worth money, and we can just go out after the season and throw a couple pots in, and that's perfectly fine. So no use in eating our profits away. So Tristan's just unwrapping this ground line that he had wrapped around the rail to protect it.
Yep.
Good that he did that right away. I launched our first 20 pots without that wrap on there, so it did kind of beat it up, as you can see right here. Kind of scrubbed it off, but that'll buff out. That's no big deal. And now we're starting to get our jig gear together. You can see we have one machine mounted here. Just about to mount our next one. Got our mounting bracket here, although I did forget the tightener at home for adjusting your jigger outwards, but it's fine. We'll just bring that next time. For now, we'll get this thing mounted up, and then we'll have 2 on the side, and we'll start looking like we're ready for battle.
All right, so Matt's got his stuff ready. So he's going to start doing that.
Yeah, so we trimmed these bolts, but luckily we didn't trim all of our bolts, so I could just trim out these, or swap out these shorter ones with ones in the very back there, because they need to be longer to accommodate the extra 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch plate. So I'll go ahead and actually, let me throw a little goop on this guy real quick. Never risk it with stainless. It's, turn your back for 1 second, it'll stab you with galling. Yeah, so we welded these out, and the bolt was just tight just because it warped over a little bit. It's on that back leg. So just a little bit of a struggle getting the bolt back out, but it's fine. One, and got a piece of stainless strap that we just bent around a piece of 1.5 inch rail at home in the vise. We'll go this way with this. So these need trim just a hair, but they're good for now. All right. Oh yeah, that's not going anywhere.
Rock solid.
Moves the bulwarks around a little bit, but they're perfectly stable. So, all right, that's that mount, and we'll go ahead and put our jigger in there. Whoa. All right.
Looks good.
Yeah. So that'll be a nice mount. This is a little loose inside that itself, but with a tightener screw on there, it'll tightens that right up, just like over here. So pretty nice. That'll
Yeah.
do the trick. Well, yeah, that's it for now. Got 4 more to go. We need to work out a mount for up here, but we might just use the long, I guess, stock mount for now, because it can just go down to the deck and then bolt to the rail there, the hydraulic bank bracket, and it'll be perfectly fine for over there. We don't have our handrail there yet, and it's going to be different from up here anyways, because there's a step down right here, so it'd probably be more like just a little shorty, and we haven't quite worked that part out yet, so we'll most likely just use the stock mount, and that'll be perfectly fine. The plan right now is for 4 jiggers down the side here on the starboard, and that'll be good or drifting, and 2 on the very back and 1 over there on the port, so should work pretty good. We're short 1 motor, so we'll probably put the 6 jigger just right there and just make do without it until we get another motor ordered. I was gonna rehabilitate one of our old Pacific Scientifics, but it turns out it was pretty played out. The coils on it were toast, so there was no use in painting it up or anything at that point.
It was time to go.
Yep, it was. Yeah, so I think we're gonna get the rest of the stuff hauled off of here. We're just gonna put those crab pots up on top of our hay rack there, get them out of the way. Might just do that tomorrow, or when we have Dad down here with us, and yeah, just get tidied up, I guess.
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right, guys. Well, next morning, really next afternoon, did some work at home. Got a tiny bit of snow last night. I think that's our 3rd snow for the year. February 14th today. Not too often we come down this side of the ramp. Have the bigger boats over here on C float, and our size boats here on B float. So the plan today is to get our anchor winch painted. Dad chipped off all the rust scale and buildup that was on it. So get some primer slapped onto it, and our anchor gear spooled back on once it dries. So that's the plan right now. Brought down another jig mount, get another jigger put up, and also get our power lines, our battery and breakers kind of lined up and worked out where we want to put them. So those are the goals today. Try and get ready for some jigging here in a few days. Just coating this anchor winch with some primer here. Already got part of it done, as you can see. Dad chipped this off and hit it with a grinder a few days ago, and just threw some OSFO on it to neutralize that rust. You're not supposed to use OSFO on the galvanized stuff, but it's kind of pretty hammered anyways, so I'm not too worried about ruining it. So just went ahead and did that, and it works really good as a bare steel, I guess, prepper before a primer. So went ahead and did that, and now we're just brushing some of this stuff on. There's just some Exo Rust gray primer, direct metal. Nothing fancy. It works well. Yeah, for what we've used it on, it works really good. So we'll get this painted up beautifully, and then we'll go ahead and drape a bag over it, and I think just stick a little heater on low nearby. Nice.
Yeah. Good coating.
Well, that should at least keep some rust stains from running down quite as badly.
Yeah. Looks much better.
Yeah.
Alright. We'll bring you back in a little bit.
Okay. So we set the heater up in here for an hour and a half-ish, and it's nice and dry now, so slap some black paint on it.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Try and go at least a little bit thinnish here so it can dry before we finish down here for the day, and then I'll slap one more coat on it, and it should be pretty good. Yeah, at least it's a lot more protected than it was before this, so that's the important part.
Yeah.
I probably should have just gone out to the edge, but it's not prepped, so it's fine. Ultimately, we're gonna get back in here again in the near term to put on some new chain and line, and probably a length of cable, so we're able to anchor a bit deeper too. So we'll be back in here. Oh, I need to open the valve, and I'll make it a little easier.
Yeah, that would probably be a good idea.
Right?
Oh, I know. Just hold your brush there on the side and I'll spin it for you.
Better yet, just go turn on the hydraulics.
Oh yeah. That's even better.
Good idea. I approve. Work harder, not smarter.
Yeah.
I think we do plan on making this drum bigger anyways to hold more line. With the line and chain we have on it right now, we measured out to be about 50 fathoms? About 50 fathoms we can anchor in right now. So a little less than ideal, really. We often fish mid 40s for cod, and it's really good if you can have at least 10 fathoms plus of scope, so that you can absorb any ground swell that's lifting the boat up without it pulling out the anchor from the bottom. So we'll have to get some more line on here at some point. All right, well, I'll finish up here, and yeah, I guess that's about all there is to it. Get this painted, get the line back on, chain reel back on, and this is good for now.
Alrighty. What is all this racket? Oh no. What's he getting into?
You've caught me making a ruckus.
Yeah, I did.
You might be asking yourself, what are these guys doing? Well, we started out earlier by trimming off a limb off our tree here in the yard.
And unfortunately, we did not record it because we always think of these things after.
Yep, we don't claim to be a professional producer of film.
So yeah, there's a giant limb, but
You can see, looking this way, that the tree had quite a bit of lean to it, and it had quite a massive limb there, huh, T?
yeah, it did.
So yeah, we gave it a little trim. We just hauled all the wood down to the garden there. We'll light that off in the bonfire later, get some potash in the garden.
Yeah, because we're gardening this year
Yeah.
after like 2 years of neglect because we're busy.
Yep. We didn't do it last year, and the year before last year we planted potatoes, but were we busy? I don't remember even what happened. It's a kind of like a blur now, but
Yeah,
potatoes like barely spread. They look terrible, and you can probably see all the all the weeds that grew up on the rows here. So we'll get back into our garden game this year. Looking forward to that. Missing our nice fresh taters, and hopefully we get some onions and carrots and other stuff going too.
yeah, we always seem to have a low yield on those.
Terrible yield, yeah. I think we got like a couple of sad little carrots,
Yeah,
and the onions never seem to bulb up much bigger than their seed origins, so
we only get the green onions.
yeah, that's right. So perfect time for pruning. These are salmonberry bushes. They're very aggressive. They take over everything. You can probably already see that we've done quite some trimming back already. All of this that we trimmed used to be lawn, if you could call it lawn. It's more like a moss lawn. But this all used to be grass, and you can see how much these salmonberries took over.
Yeah, they like reached out as far as these rose bushes, kind of.
Yeah.
Like,
This guy's looking a little bit sad. This entire stalk right here is dead, actually.
oh,
This one's okay though, still has its thorns. And this one looks to be okay. It needs cleaned up. Same thing. Prune it back and I guess move our little edging piece of stuff. But yeah, you can see that Tristan Just doing some mining here, or what'd you call it?
Spelunking,
Some spelunking.
because I was grabbing these piles of trimmed salmon berries like that one right there. And yeah, my footing wasn't exactly the greatest.
Yeah, so we're thinking that when they backfilled here, they just threw some logs against the drop here. This used to have just a big downward slope before they built the place, and then they brought a lot of fill in to make this bank here. So maybe the logs broke down or whatever, but that was another reason for trim this tree, is that when it's windy it pulls that way, and of course that puts strain on the roots and causes it to possibly lift up some of the ground here. So yeah, we'll have to fill that back in.
Yep. Our birds, they're like, where'd all the perches go?
Yep. They're probably annoyed with me making a bunch of noise. They're hungry. They're ready for lunch. Little red-breasted nuthatch and black chickadees are usual, and these over here on the table are pine siskins. Whoa! Whoa! Flew right by my ear. I think his wing almost touched my ear.
Yeah, nearly took my head off.
Dang. So yeah, we're just pushing these salmonberry bushes back, and these are biennial plants, I think. These salmonberry cane, so they'll shoot up new sprouts every year, and those harden up over the course of the summer into this, and then the next year they produce salmonberry berries. And then the year after that, I think they die off again. So they are very, very aggressive, like I said.
Yeah, we doing some reclamation,
Yeah.
reclaim the land.
Yep. You can see our rhododendron over here. The deer love to eat these, and it kind of annoys us because this guy was looking nice and full before, but I
Yeah,
guess what can you do when you live in the forest?
and so that's why we have these
Yeah.
fence material,
Yep. Wire fence. It
kind
helps
of.
a little bit, but
They just
I think it's in too close usually, so we need to put a couple like posts that we can just bring it around and keep them well away from it.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, that's what we're doing today. Gonna fire this chainsaw back up and trim back a bit more, and yeah, do some bushwhacking.
Yeah, let's do it. Alright, I suppose I better get to my job. Had a feeling that would happen. Nicely done.
Thank you. Here. It is new.
What was that?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, pretty well trimmed up here as far down as we want it to go. Probably have to get some fill, which is fine. Kind of straighten this cut out a little bit.
Yeah. Just raking up that junk that's strewn about.
Yeah, the leaves and
branches, twigs.
Yep. And then it's just easier to see the root system here. Kind of root it out.
I see what you did there.
Our little water collector. Probably have to drain that off here.
Yeah.
What would be nice is a 500-gallon one. This is just a 55-gallon plastic drum that we put right there years ago to capture rainwater off the roof. But it'd be nice to have a big 500-gallon drum here so we can water the garden without running our well dry.
Yeah.
Our well is a pretty slow well, actually. It's probably like a gallon a minute tops. It's like pretty slow when you compare it to other places. Probably need to frack it or something, but yeah, no money for that right now. Costs about 15 grand just to have them come and frack your wells. Yeah, they pretty much just put the machine on there and pump water through the veins of the bedrock, and it clears the sediment out of them and all that stuff. I'm not the guy to watch for that information.
Just a clueless fisherman. Yeah, so our barrel here, we got good use out of it, like, well, when we were like actively gardening.
Yeah.
But
it did serve its purpose.
yeah, it's really good at it too. It's really nice. Like,
Yeah,
we
I
just
think,
dunk our watering can in there and it fills up.
Right. I think we'll probably just when we put a bigger one there, we'll just put a valve off of it to go to a hose and then just let gravity feed
That would
the
be,
water.
yeah, that would be really nice. Yeah, this thing's probably all full of slime and junk at the bottom.
There were a lot of slugs in it the year we used it last. Now there's probably just a slug graveyard at the very bottom.
Yeah.
Probably some pretty rich water though.
Yeah. Yeah, we got like a little pipe in here that's connected to our gutter. We like dug out that strip of grass right there, right off the corner there. You can see it go down. Yep.
So yeah, we're currently getting ready for jigging. So got some jiggers set up down the boat and getting the jig mounts built, and yeah, we're pretty much ready to go. Just a couple of storms rolling through, so kind of waiting on those, and then excited to get in some jig mode action.
It's time.
Probably one of my favorite fisheries, if not the favorite. I'm just laying a mess in the garden. The leaves help the soil enrich it, so, and the little twigs will probably just get raked up in there and burnt.
Yep. So, yeah, that's just our garden prep, but not really prep garden.
Yeah, we'll get into the garden stuff here pretty soon. Actually, probably should think about ordering some potato starters and onion starters pretty shortly.
Yeah.
April, I think, is well, maybe start of the May is usually when we start planting. Just a couple weeks. If I didn't worry about it like suddenly getting really cold out, it'd almost be like time to start planting now with the way this year's been so wet and almost early spring like.
Yeah, very mild winter.